You want to know the secret to success? It's buried right next to the secret of failure. They're neighbors. In fact, they share a backyard, but we only ever talk about one. We're taught to fear failure, to build a life so safe, so padded that we never have to feel its sting. We're told to be realistic. Have a backup plan, then a backup for the backup plan. And what does that do? It teaches your dream that it's optional. It whispers to your ambition that it's okay to quit when things get hard. Let me tell you something. That realistic advice? It's the most unrealistic advice you will ever receive. It's a beautifully decorated cage. A backup plan is just a pre-planned escape route from the life you actually want to live. It's permission you give yourself to fail before you've even started. Because the truth is, you will fail. It's not a possibility, it's a guarantee, it's the price of admission. It's the tuition you pay for the education of your own greatness. Every stumble, every rejection, every time you fall flat on your face, that's not the end. That's a lesson paid for in sweat and tears. Don't waste your tuition. We all know the famous stories. The big names who were rejected 1,000 times. But what about the ones you don't hear about? Think about the scientist, Katalin Karikó, whose work on mRNA was dismissed for decades. She was demoted, her funding was cut, she was pushed to the very edge of the academic world. But she didn't stop. She saw something no one else did. Her failures became the foundation for the COVID-19 vaccines that saved millions of lives. Or think about the architect Zaha Hadid. Her designs were called unbuildable, too radical. For years, she won competitions for buildings that were never constructed. She was a paper architect, but she kept drawing, kept pushing, kept believing in her vision. Today, her fluid, impossible structures define skylines across the globe. Their journey wasn't a straight line. It was a chaotic, brutal, beautiful dance with failure. I remember my own moment, my own floor. It wasn't a stage, it was the cold tile of a tiny apartment kitchen at 3 a.m. I was surrounded by rejection letters, emails that all started with, "Unfortunately, my savings were gone." My confidence was a ghost. I'd poured my soul into a project, my big shot, and it had imploded in the most public way possible. And in that moment, sitting there in the dark, I felt the full weight of it. The shame, the humiliation. The voices of everyone who told me to be sensible were screaming in my head. I felt like a fraud. I was done. It wasn't just about the project failing. It felt like I had failed. Me, as a person, but then something shifted. It wasn't a lightning bolt. It was a quiet ember. I looked at the pile of rejections, and instead of seeing an ending, I saw a receipt. A long, itemized receipt for every lesson I had just learned. I learned about resilience. I learned about who my real friends were. I learned the 100 ways not to launch a project. I realized that failure wasn't a verdict on my worth. It was just data. It was the raw material for my next attempt. The pain was real, but it wasn't fatal. It was fuel. And I decided right there, in the quiet of that kitchen, that if I was going to go down, I was going to go down swinging, using everything I had learned from the last knockout. So I ask you, what are you so afraid of? Are you afraid of looking foolish? Are you afraid of what they will say? Whose they are you living for? The critics in the cheap seats who never even got in the game? Are you telling yourself you'll go all in one day? When the time is right? When you have more money? When you're not so scared? Let me tell you, that day is a myth. It's a fantasy sold to you by your own fear. Your potential is not a fine wine that gets better just by sitting on a shelf. It's a block of marble. Right now, inside you, is a masterpiece. But it will stay a block of marble forever if you are too afraid to pick up the chisel and hammer. Every swing you don't take, every no you're scared to hear, every safe choice you make keeps that masterpiece hidden. You have to be willing to chip away the stone, to make a mess, to see pieces of yourself fall to the floor that you thought you needed. You have to be willing to look at your work halfway through and think, this is a disaster, and keep carving anyway. Don't let your potential gather dust in the museum of your good intentions. The clock is ticking. Not to scare you, but to light a fire under you. You don't get a dress rehearsal for this life. This is the main performance. This is opening night and it's closing night all at once. Stop saving your best for later. Pour everything you have into today. Go all in. Give your dream an honest shot. Not a let's see what happens shot, but this is the only thing that matters shot. Fail spectacularly, fail with purpose, fail forward. Because on the other side of that failure isn't an ending, it's your beginning. Live full, die empty.